Hi! It's been a while since I've stood in front of the camera, and in the meantime, we hit 1,000 subscribers. So to start this off, thank you. Also, if you hear any spooky wind sounds, it's because it's super windy right now where I live. Halloween season's over, guys. The ghosts are gone. So to celebrate 1,000 subscribers, I thought I would do the most inventive, the most exciting, the most never before seen YouTube video within the manga community, a manga haul. As we do every quarter, it's time for the manga haul. This time, autumn. And most of this stuff I've already talked about on the channel, so we're gonna try and speed through this quite quickly. But before we get into any of that, if you want to buy some manga for yourself, make sure you use the affiliate links down in the description to Forbidden Planet, Right Stuff, Book Depository, and Blackwell's. You can grab some manga for yourself, and it helps me out a bunch for no extra cost to yourselves. So if you want to buy some manga or any of the manga that I talk about today, you know where to go. Without further ado, the manga haul. First up, pre-orders. It's where we always start the video because it's like the ones that everyone knows I'm getting. And we're starting it off with a banger. First volume I picked up this month was Dan to Dan Volume 1. If you haven't already seen my video on this, please go and check it out. But all I can say, super wacky series and one of the most enjoyable, if not the best volume I've read this entire year. It follows our two main characters, one of which believes in ghosts, the other believes in aliens, and they both find out that not only are they correct, but they're both correct. And the ghosts and aliens are quite dangerous. And what ensues is a roller coaster ride of conspiracy theories, ghosts, ghoulies, the supernatural, and superpowers. It's really freaking good. Next up is probably one of the most important manga that I've ever picked up, and that is Berserk Volume 41. This volume is the final volume that Kentaro Miura worked on before he sadly passed away back in 2021. And even though the series has continued, this volume really does mark a cornerstone, a kind of final part of Berserk, and it has one of the most amazing final panels in it. Yeah, this was quite a heavy read. The Berserk videos coming soon, I promise. Next up, as always, everyone knows me, big fan of My Hero Academia. I haven't actually read this one yet, funnily enough. I've been reading through some of my backlog, but this is kind of the start of the new arc in the My Hero Academia series, and it introduces our new kind of Deku, his new kind of personality trait, I guess, and I'm really looking forward to jumping in. Next up is another banger that's been released in this year. It's Sakamoto Days Volume 4. This series follows a old retired assassin who now works in a convenience store and for one reason or another has to battle a load of other assassins in non-violent ways. I haven't read this one yet. I do have some catching up to do with Sakamoto Days, but volumes 1 and 2 were absolutely phenomenal, so I can imagine the rest is just as good. Talking about series with a little bit of catching up to do, Record of Ragnarok. Now this series, again, if you don't already know, is basically a battle, fight it out series between gods and humans. It has some of the most batshit insane hand-to-hand fights that I've ever seen in manga. And I haven't read this one yet, but so far the series has been absolutely fantastic and I can't wait to continue. This was probably my most hyped release of the year. It's definitely not the best release of the year, but it was one of my favorites. Now, if you know me and you've been watching this channel for a little while, you'll know that Chainsaw Man is one of my favorite manga of all time. So I had to pick up Tatsuki Fujimoto's Look Back. This is a one-shot that covers two young budding manga artists in their adolescent life. And that is literally all I'm going to tell you because going into this blind is probably the best idea. This is the first of Tatsuki Fujimoto's one-shots that are being released, with Goodbye Eri coming out early next year and also two of his short story compilations also coming out next year. So the Tatsuki Fujimoto collection is getting there. And finally, the series that is in contention for my top spot for 2022 is Tokyo Revengers. This is volumes 5 and 6, which I've already read because of course I did as soon as I unboxed this. And it's got our boy Mikey on the front in the most dripped out jacket I have ever seen. Tokyo Revengers is a series that follows delinquents in Japan. They're part of a biker gang, and our main character somehow gets the ability to travel back in time and change change a tragic event that happens in the future by dealing with our delinquent gang, joining it, and kind of changing it from within. It's a really, really freaking awesome series. I have been absolutely loving it so far. Whilst it's not the best written thing in the world, and it's also not got the best art in the world, it is a freaking addictive read and definitely high on my recommendation list. Now, in regards to pre-orders, that's everything I picked up this month, this quarter even. So the next part of the manga haul is going to go over all of the titles that I picked up during my £150 manga buying challenge video. If you haven't checked that out already, it's one of my favorite videos that I've ever made, and there's a couple of people that have done reactions to that video and their responses, which you can check out on the community tab on the channel. If you've already seen that video, you're going to know all of the books here. However, I'm going to quickly go through them anyway. Starting off, I picked up a series that's been on my watch list for this year, but I never got around to pre-ordering it, and that is Alice in Borderland Volumes 1 and 2. Now, I've watched the Netflix series for this, really enjoyed it, and I have read both of these volumes now with a first impressions video on the way for next month. But it basically follows our main character and his friends who are transported to an alternate reality slash dimension slash time. I'm not actually 100% sure yet. And they're forced to participate in death games. Games where the punishment, if you lose, is death. And from what I've read so far, it's a really cool take on the human condition, what people will do to survive, and how people feel in the real world and how they want to get away from it. I'm really enjoying this series, and I can't wait to bring you more in the first impressions video. I've been a little bit addicted to Berserk, so during my challenge, I picked up the Berserk light novel, The Flame Dragon Knight. Now, I haven't read this yet, but I'm hoping to do it over the next month or so, and there will be a video on this once I've done the other Berserk video. But yeah, Flame Dragon Knight, it's a light novel. It'll be the first light novel I've read, and it's Berserk, so yeah. In the challenge, I had to pick up a series that isn't something I'd normally pick up, and for that, I went for Blue Flag. This also came under the series that I'd never heard of before, because to be honest, I hadn't. And then when I saw it on books during my challenge, I decided to read up a little bit about it, and it seems like this slice of life slash romance series following a love triangle. I've got volumes 1, 4, 6, 7, and 8, so I haven't started reading this yet, but once I do, there will be a video about my feelings, if I think it deserves it, obviously. The Promised Neverland Volumes 1 and 2. I've actually been given an opportunity to pick up this whole series today, and I think I might, so I might need to read these two and see what I think. But this series is something I've wanted to pick up for a little while. It's a shonen series following a group of orphans who are in an orphanage. Surprise, surprise. But the orphanage has a dark secret, because these orphans are actually being raised and fed to demons. And this series basically follows their escape and how that goes for them. I haven't watched the anime, I haven't read the series, but it's something that I really want to get into, and potentially you might see more of these in next month's manga haul. One of the first manga series that I ever read and really freaking enjoyed was Beastars, and I haven't quite caught up yet, so here's volume 12 and 13. Once I read this series, I think I'm going to do like an in-depth video on it, because I'm really enjoying it so far. There's quite a lot to go, so we'll see how it goes, but Beastars 12 and 13. Now, our preliminary, is that the right word? No. Our penultimate series is Dead Demons Destruction. This is volumes 4 and 5 of Inio Asano's most recent series. Now, if you don't know, Inio Asano wrote one of my favorite series, Goodnight Punpun, and also another one of my favorite one-shots, Solanin. And this is his kind of ongoing series. It's a semi-sci-fi but still character-based drama where aliens invade the planet. And that's about all I know, because again, I haven't read this yet, but I will do soon. I lied. That wasn't the penultimate manga. Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga is probably my most hyped manga that I haven't read yet. This is volume 3, which brings me up to 3 volumes, and I really want to start it, but I just haven't dedicated myself because I feel like I'm going to get addicted to it and need to buy every single volume. Vinland Saga is a Viking-based series. It's a historical manga, and it follows our main character Thorfinn on his quest for revenge. There is absolutely no reason why I'm not gonna love this series, so I can't wait to get into it, hopefully in the new year. You're probably asking, why are you not reading any of these series? You don't know the inner workings of my mind. There's so many videos. They're coming. I'll get to them, okay? Our final series for this manga haul is none other than Fire Punch, which during my manga challenge video, I bought the whole series of. Fire Punch is Tatsuki Fujimoto's first serialized work. It's the series that he worked on before Chainsaw Man. And whilst Vinland Saga is my most hyped manga to get started to read, Fire Punch is a very close second. I absolutely adored the batshit insaneness of Chainsaw Man, and Fire Punch does exactly that, just in a slightly different world. It follows our main character who has the ability to heal, regenerate from any wound. And for one reason or another, he's set on fire. Now, these two are a fun combination because our main character basically has to live his life constantly burning and coming back to life and feeling all of the pain of that constant fire. Hence the name, Fire. Oh yeah, and then he punches things. Fire Punch, there we go. That makes sense. From what I've heard, it's a series that you either love or are really confused by, but I am so excited to get reading this. As soon as I've finished my manga that I'm reading right now, Fire Punch is next, and I am gassed to get into it. So yeah, guys, that is my autumn manga haul. But now it's time for you to tell me what you've been picking up for the last couple of months. Also, while you're down there, let me know if you have any recommendations for series that I need to pick up, or what you think of the series that I picked up today. Don't forget to use the affiliate links down in the description if you want to grab some manga for yourself. And while you're down there, hit the Twitter and follow it, even though Twitter's about to implode, so maybe ignore that. And there's also a Discord that you can join. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell to be alerted every single time that I upload. Thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. It literally means the freaking world to me, and I'm going to continue bringing you the best content I possibly can. And we're going to skyrocket that 1,000 to 10,000 in the next year. Save that somewhere, because if I don't, rub it in my face. I appreciate you guys being here. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.